First off, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to those elders and apostles out there from Great Millstone who teach and rule well. A lot of respect to you brothers out there on the highways and byways preaching this truth around the four corners of the earth. And salutations to the hopeful elect that you guys may be sealed soon. And with that, this your brother Dawah Bar from the branch of GMS here in Chicago, coming right back at you with a little lesson. And as you see on my phone screen here, I got integrated preparedness. The title of his video is Martial Law Coming, and this is due to somebody asking him a question. The guy on the screen, his name is Steve Smith. I've listened to this guy probably for the past year or two, couple of years actually. He actually comes out with some good information, and sometimes he just says things that make for a good lesson. In this particular time, he says something that makes for a good lesson. Somebody asked him a question about martial law, and he kind of beat it around the bush about it until he came up with this answer. And I'm going to sit up here and let it play about a minute and a half, and I'm going to grab some scriptures. But see, this is the thing. You got guys like this. You got you fake-ass pastors. You're not letting people know that the times that are ahead are going to be pretty rough. Either you make really light of it, and you fake-ass pastors, you make it seem like it ain't going to be no Jacob's trouble. A lot of these people are going to sit up here and be in trouble due to people leading them down a wrong path. A wrong path. And I'm going to sit up here and let this play, and then I'm going to grab a few scriptures.
A video on probably next, maybe tomorrow. We've got a lot to do today. And then as the internal war has started, and the response, the government response to that, there may be certain aspects of martial law that will be imposed, but it's going to be on the local level. It's not going to be a general martial law across the country. It's going to be in direct response to civil uprisings, to the riots and things like that. And like I said yesterday, with the horrors that are coming, and it wasn't I who said that, but I was just reporting on what somebody else had said. It's going to be erupting, and we've seen it erupting. So the internal war is coming. This administration is not going to put up with it. Okay, about time, right? The people that Trump has put into place, and by the way, go Trump, and all you people who at first, well, I won't say you people because I'm sure it wasn't you. But to all the people who for a long time was talking about how horrible Biden was and how we need to do something about it and we need to get up there and do it, and now that somebody's doing it, and man, is he doing it, right?
I'm going to end it there. That's all I really needed. And you see how he feels. See, he's one of them rah guys who believe that Trump is going to make America great again and all this other nonsense. But he stood up here and kind of beat it around the bush with the martial law. He said, it's going to be, but it ain't going to be this, it ain't going to be that. See, this is where people, they're going to listen to guys like this, which I really don't care. Or you got them fake-ass pastors that's going to lead the sheep astray, talking about ain't no Jacob's trouble, talking about ain't nothing happened, talking about God is going to give you a car and a man of your dreams and all this other nonsense, and everything is going to be okay. See, this right here is going to sit up here and destroy a lot of people. Bullshit. But with that, you know what? Actually, I was not planning on getting this, but I am. You know what? Let me grab this from Jeremiah 28 real quick. Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And then you got the men out there on the highways and byways, the men of the Lord, the prophets out there on the highways and byways, telling our people, hey, look, get your act together. This is what you got to do to grab mercy and salvation, and pray that the Lord put that spirit on you. All we can do is plant the seed. It's going to be upon you. How about Shimmy Awashai if he water it? If you part of the elect, you good. If you're not, oh well, you'll be right in the kingdom. But the men before us have prophesied of the downfall of many nations. Jeremiah himself, Daniel, all these men. You know, Jonah, all these men, when the prophets come on the scene, hey, they letting you know, get your act together or you will be destroyed. Point blank, period. And it's just a matter of time before those places are destroyed. You know? But here's the other point. Jeremiah 28:9. The prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord had truly sent him. See, you got people out here who prophesying peace, and I'm not talking about this dude, Steve Smith. I'm talking about you, the fake ass pastors who sit up here and say, you know, Jacob's trouble and all this other stuff. You know, I don't care about what this. He looked like an Edomite, so you know he could be, he could not be. But me personally, that's just my thoughts. I think he's an Edomite. Either way it goes, you know, you got people who sit up here and say things that are not going to happen and say things ain't going to happen. You say things, everything going to get great and everything is going to be okay when the scriptures don't say that. The scriptures say what's going to happen to America in the end time. This place is going to be fucking totally destroyed. And when the imposters are, that's going to be wiped. That's going to be destroyed too. But that's going to be refreshed, you know. But America ain't going to be inhabited at all except by desert creatures. But I'm going to get back to the point. So with that, he was talking about martial law. Now with that, man, I looked up martial law. And if you sit up here and say, it says martial law, I looked it up on Google, so I'm going to read it. It says martial law is a temporary period of military rule in place of civilian government. It is usually invoked when civilian authorities are unable to maintain order and safety. It says how it works. It says suspension of civil liberties, civil rights are suspended, and military laws extended to civilians. Military authority. The military commander has a limited authority to make and enforce laws. Duration. Martial law can be in effect for a set of amount, time, or indefinitely. It says when it is in use, natural disasters, when civilian authorities are unable to respond to natural disasters, when it's rebellion, when civil authorities are unable to respond to rebellion or insurrection, when it's war, when a country is at war. So these are the reasons that you will use martial law. So you got to understand, when it says that suspension of civil liberties, that means curfew. That means going certain places. That means that, hey, if you get arrested, hey, ain't no court. You at the mercy of the military. All that stuff. And that just goes also to show you that, hey, if they deem you something wrong, boom. If they deem it's a problem, they can come at you and get you. And who's going to stop them? Nobody. So with that, man, let me sit up here and, my fault. Let me sit up here and, I had second Esdras pulled up. This is second Esdras 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. And that woe means destruction. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For that shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in the power. So right then and there, it says, hey, sword and destruction. People is going to be sedition, insurrections. So guess what? When all that stuff happens, guess what? Martial law is invoked. You know, it says for natural disasters, it says for rebellion or insurrection, it says for war. You know, and if you want to understand, all these things are happening right now. You got natural disasters happening all everywhere. California with the wildfires, snowstorms, tornadoes, sinkholes, all sorts of shit happening. Rebellion. You seeing that happening all over. People are pissed off with the elections. People are pissed off with everything that's going on and stuff that's happening in other countries. So you hearing protests. And then you got wartime situation, which right now you in. You know, Trump is up here starting fights with everybody, but all this stuff is already started. So, hey, what's to say? So how could a person sit up here and say that martial law won't be invoked at some point? And when it does become invoked and when it does happen, it's going to be brutal. We got a taste of it during March of 2020. People had curfews back then. You couldn't go certain places. You had to have a paper if you was going to certain places downtown. I wasn't part of it when I was here in Chicago and even in other places. So if that's happening, what is people talking about? What is this dude talking about? When this martial law comes, it's going to be brutal. But here's the point, 2 Esdras 15 and 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And what's that? That's stopping you from going somewhere due to the fact of martial law. And it ain't going to be just martial law with these troops. You know, you're going to have a lot of militia out here at some point, you know, who going to be doing all sorts of stuff, probably stopping people from going certain places, taking their shit, fucking them over. It's going to be a lot of bad stuff happening, you know, and we always sit up here and say to you women, oh, well, if you ain't with a man of the Lord, oh, well, too bad. Or if you probably ain't in one of them bunkers with the elite. But that, even if you're doing that, that's only going to be for a short amount of time. And your ass going to get snatched up. But it's a lot of bad stuff that's happening. A lot of bad shit about to go down. Now, I'm finna get this right here, because this is part of that martial law too. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 16 and verse 69. Verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next city a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. And there you go. That's another big thing that's going to happen. Hey, some of us going to get martyred. Some of us going to be taken out the houses and thrown in jail and beheaded. Hey, look, we ain't going to have no law at that particular time. If martial law is invoked, it's up to the military. Ain't going to be no lawyers coming to save you or whatever. You bailing yourself out of jail. No. Hey, the shit about to get real quick and real fast, and we seeing it. You know? We seeing it. A lot of death and destruction is coming. And if you ain't in this truth, if you ain't under that Psalms 91, you in trouble. Hey, but for him to sit up here and say martial law coming, hey, the joke's on him. Or if he sit up here and say it's just a small amount, the joke's on him. For all these pastors out here that's leading the flock astray, they're about to find out the hard way. And the people that listen to them, about to find out the hard way. You know? Hey, but with that, man, you know what, I'm going to end it there. Hey, but it's coming. Martial law is coming, and it's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal. It ain't going to be no fucking walk in the park, and it ain't going to be like 2020. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to those elders and apostles out there from Great Millstone who teach and rule well. A lot of respect to you brothers out there on the highways and byways preaching this truth around the four corners of the earth. And salutations to the hopeful light that you guys may be sealed soon. So with that, I always say stay prayed up, brothers. Pray for each other because we're almost up out of here. So with that, I'd like to say Kwam Yasharallah and a Baba Ball. And Anya Habatam Akim. Shalom.